Good morning to all of you. Myself, K. RAJASUTHAN, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Rohini College of Engineering Technology, Naharkovil. And here I am going to give a small presentation about the subject Engineering Mechanics. The subject code is G8292. In this unit, we can see the basics of the fundamentals of the first unit, that is the classification of mechanics and units and dimensions. Let's go to the slide. First, we can see the definition for mechanics. So, what is called as mechanics? So, mechanics, as the definition defines, the branch of science which deals with the forces and their effects on the bodies on which they act is called as mechanics. So, in the diagram, you can see easily a man is pushing a block towards the right hand side, and he is pushing with the force F, and the friction force, which is the ground contact friction force, is opposing the direction of motion of the block, which is moving towards the left hand side. That is the friction force opposing the direction of motion, and in the point of contact there is a normal reaction, or you can find in the figure it is perpendicular to the normal surface, and the gravitational force, that is the weight of the block, is acting vertically downwards. These are the forces acting on this given diagram. So this study is called as mechanics. This is the one example, basic example for the definition of mechanics. Next, we can see the classification of mechanics. Generally, mechanics is classified into three types: rigid body mechanics, deformable solid mechanics, fluid mechanics. So, out of this three, the rigid body mechanics is called as engineering mechanics, and the deformable solid mechanics is called as solid mechanics, and fluid mechanics is called as fluid mechanics. And again, further, the engineering mechanics is classified into statics and dynamics. The dynamics is further classified into kinetics and kinematics. So, actually, these classifications. Out of these things, only the rigid body mechanics only we are going to see in the engineering mechanics topic. Okay, so that we can go for the next slide from the statics and dynamics. Okay. Before going to statics and dynamics, we want to know the definition of a rigid body. So, what is called as a rigid body? So, when a force acts on a rigid body, if the position of the body changes and the shape of the body does not changes, these kind of bodies are called as rigid bodies. Okay. Then, what is called as deformable solids? Deformable body means it is nothing but if the force acts on a body and if the shape of the body changes. For example, if you throw a stone on a glass, the glass breaks so that it deforms. So, these kind of bodies are called as deformable bodies. Okay. So, rigid body changes its position, and deformable solid changes its shape upon when a force acts on it. Okay. This is called the difference between the rigid body and deformable bodies. Next, we can see the definition of statics. As the statement defines, the study of mechanics of a body during rest condition is called as statics. So, it's a simple sketch which defines the statics of a body. So, in a seesaw, when two persons of same weight are sitting on both sides, then automatically it is balanced. So, the overall system becomes in equilibrium. So that if you are person 1 and person 2 both are on same weight, then the system will be in equilibrium. If person 2, the right hand side, person 2 is more weight, then the seesaw will move right downwards, and if the person 1 who is sitting in the left hand side is having more weight, then automatically the seesaw will move downwards towards the left hand side. This is the simple concept of equilibrium. Now we can see what is called as dynamics. As the definition indicates, the study of mechanics of a body during motion is called as dynamic. So, what is called as that mechanics? The mechanics involves the forces involved, the study of forces involved in a body during its motion. So, I am given a simple example here. A car is moving. A moving car experiences these kind of forces. The weight that is shown by the given green arrow, it's acting vertically downwards always due to the gravity, and the reaction force is acting always at the point of contact. So here in a moving car, the wheel specifies the ground contact, so automatically a normal reaction will be acting, that is mentioned by the blue arrowhead, and the driving force, that is the thrust, is given, the pulling force of the vehicle is given by the yellow arrowhead, forward motion, and the friction force acting on the tires is opposing the direction of motion is given by the red arrows, as well as the air resistance which is experienced while moving is given by the pink arrowhead. Next, we can see some basics about units and dimensions. So, basically, unit is a qualitative approach and dimension is a quantitative approach. I will give an example for that. So, basically, you will tell an unit like that 100 meters. So, that 100 is the dimension and the meter is the unit. Okay. So only we are telling that unit is a qualitative approach and dimension is measures a quantitative approach. Okay. So basically here there are three basic units in mechanics. that is nothing but length, mass and time. So length is given by in meters, and mass in kilogram, and the time in seconds. These are the three basic units of mechanics. And what is called as derived units? The units which are derived from the three basic units, length, mass and time, is called as derived units. For derived units, I will give some examples. For example, velocity. Velocity is equal to distance travelled by time taken. So what is the unit for distance travelled? Meter. Meter by time. That is nothing but time, m by s, meter per second. So that is why it is called as derived unit. Then volume. Volume is equal to, density is equal to mass by volume. You know the formula. Density is equal to mass by volume. Mass, what is the formula for mass? Kilogram. Volume, what is the formula for volume? Meter cube. So kilogram per meter cube. So it is derived from the three basic units. So only it is called as derived units. So from the basic units of all the subjects, you can generate n number of derived units as per the formula and as per the statements. So that is what it is called as derived units. The units which are derived from the three basic units are called as derived units. We can see the problem solving of unit 1 in the next video lecture. Thank you.